Hi, good evening. Today we have a very special guest at Avatar Live. We have Mr. Parvez Alam. He's the CEO and Director of Crescent Innovation Council, and he's here to share some very important perspective, especially during these times, and what the future holds on the startup ecosystem, on the entrepreneurial ecosystem, and his work and his vision and his mission at the Crescent Innovation Center at BS Abdul Rahman Crescent Engineering College. We will definitely all the startups, all the youngsters. This is a please. I would request to hear closely what Mr. Parvez Alam has to say today. Those will be very precious words to know from Mr. Parvez. Mr. Parvez, welcome to Avatar Live.
Oh, thank you. Good evening, and then thanks for this opportunity. I've been watching a lot of videos in Avatar Live for a couple of weeks. I think you are doing a very fantastic job of bringing all the minds together.
Thank you, Parvez sir. Parvez sir, so firstly, before I go on to the specifics, what is your evaluation of the current scenario now? A number of people say there is an opportunity. A number of people say there are a number of things which is going to turn negative. But what do you see as a bright spot in this? The whole lockdown, the impact on business. What do you see it as a bright spot? Where are the bright spots?
Yeah, definitely. But before I start this interview, I would like to thank Avatar Live for giving me this opportunity at this time, especially. I also would like to acknowledge our thanks to our board of directors, Crescent CIIC board of directors, and Crescent board of management, as well as our university management, who has been very inspiring and supporting us in these difficult times. Coming back to this your question of this, let's say we take this pre-COVID scenario and post-COVID scenario. Though there is a lot of business impact, economic impact, we keep reading all the news, but startups has definitely a very good potential because that India is a lot of frugal country. We believe in frugal engineering. We say we can do it, jugaad and type of things. So the startups is providing a lot of frugal engineering solutions. In fact, our startups who are basically they were in different domains, but when these COVID things happened, they all came together and found some applications for COVID. They have developed 22 different solutions within just 2 weeks of time frame. So India has this frugal mindset. That's why there is a lot of MNCs come here. So a post-COVID scenario, so even the government is now providing a lot of funding support. Now you maybe today you would have seen this for video conferencing solutions. Now government wanted a startup to give a solution for that. So the Make in India movement and the Startup India movement is going to take a very good position, and startups are going to given a lot of importance. So especially this post-COVID scenario, the startups has a great potential and great future.
So you're saying that startup will have a bigger role to play post. That's your evaluation, and you did say that there were some solutions prepared by startups. They came together. Can you just, if not dwell into the idea itself, but how did you enable it to happen? Did it happen at the Crescent Innovation Center, or is it your observation elsewhere?
I think this is in general observation, but in Crescent Innovation Incubation Council, first of all, probably those who are not aware about us, Crescent Innovation Incubation Council it's actually a platform for startups and in general entrepreneurs to grow. So as the word says, we incubate them, we handhold them and support them. We support them in many ways. Number one is we help them to get government grants. In fact, the Tamil Nadu government, the EDI Tamil Nadu government has given 2 lakh, 5 lakh, so various type of seed grant for the young startups. See that once the startups grow, most of the infant mortality occurs during the initial stage. So for that initial stage, we help them to get seed grant, the initial capital. In fact, 5 of our startups have got the Tamil Nadu government's EDI grant. Thanks to
So
the
when you
support of
say,
EDI also.
I'm sorry to interrupt for a moment. When you say
Okay.
the Crescent Innovation Center or the Innovation Incubation Center enables startups to get grants from the government. So is it a payment made out of appreciation, or is it a, once again, like private investment, there is a stake dilution in that also?
No, when I say these grants, these are milestone-based grants.
Okay.
There is no equity commitment. There is
Okay.
no return. There is no return. There is no interest quarter. So
Okay.
there is no return on that investment issue.
Okay.
But there is a milestone commitment. Like for example, you commit certain innovation, so you have to achieve that innovation within 12
Right.
months.
Right.
So we have 5 startups actually got this grant. And one of the startup has received 50 lakh government grant from BIRAC, Department of Biotechnology, for for a specific innovation in the medical
Among the
domain.
startups,
So basically, the first thing is we support them.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Among the startups which
Yeah.
reach out to Crescent Innovation Incubation Center, is there a who are the can you classify into various? So as you said, biotechnology. Are there more digital startups, or are there more robotic startups, or are there more agro-based or biotech-based? Which subject of startups is more when among the people who reach to you to get incubated?
Yeah, actually, we are more a sector agnostic, incubation center,
Right.
in the sense that we support broadly many startups in many domains. But the 3 primary domains, that's the first domain is this Industry 4.0, which covers all IT, IoT, artificial intelligence, cyber security, robotics, all the related startups will come under that. And the number 2 is the life sciences, where we cover, when the life sciences, when I say it all includes agriculture, plant specific, medical, medtech, and, as well as nanotech. So the core biotech. So put together, it's all come under life science. And third is the mobility and transportation. Chennai is being a large automotive manufacturing hub. We also support electric vehicle. In fact, we have someone in the electric vehicle startup who is making a motor controller, and some of them are working on the drones. So we have a combination of. Fortunately, we have the combination of all the 36 startups in different domains, in multidisciplinary domains.
Fantastic. And is
So
there
yeah.
Yeah, and is there a specific preference towards a particular sector, like is IT based, or biotech or nanotech or artificial intelligence based? Does it get higher curiosity among the incubation center, the people who select who is to be incubated?
So actually, different incubation centers has different thrust areas.
Right.
As we said, we have these 3 thrust areas. So
Okay.
we focus on this, but nevertheless, we don't discourage anybody. For example, recently there are a lot of edutech companies.
Okay.
So we have not has these as our one of our focus area. There are a lot of edutech companies have come up, and they came up with a very good idea, and then we have incubated them. So that doesn't mean we don't reject anybody, but we give a lot of preference in these domains because, for example, we are funded by the Government of India, BIRAC, Department of Biotechnology. So they have funded $250,000 to us. So their mandate is we have to support biotech startups, 15 biotech startups in these 3 years. So basically, we were working on some mandates, but to come and talk to us. But a lot of artificial intelligence.
Your voice is breaking.
Startups is the need of the world because it doesn't require any major capex.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we have some mandate to work on, say, from the BIRAC, but we also encourage a lot of digital startups. In fact, the digital startups doesn't have any requirement on the capital, so we also support them on those aspects. So as I told you, like our first mandate is to provide them government grants, and second is we help them to raise private investments. In fact, 3 of our startups has raised, put together 40 crores rupees from the market, from the various venture capitalists. And so if you put together, our 36 startups has the market valuation of, say, 500 crores. I'm very glad to say that within a 1 year, we could, we started a 1 year before, and then within 1 year, we could get 36 startups with 500 crores market valuation, thanks to all our team support and management support. So the third thing is we also help them to get the international connections and business development. And this is one unique thing which we do. Normally, incubators are not expected to do a marketing role. But because of my corporate background and marketing experience, we try to help them and support in developing the market also.
Fantastic. So can I just take this a little further? So at Crescent Innovation and Incubation Center, you first evaluate the startup whether it is whether it's fit to be incubated. You take them in, and then you try if they are worthy of the government grants, and also you see if private investment is possible. And you said you support in marketing also, that is to connect with international potential. What if you can list on what else does Crescent Innovation Incubation Center does once a startup spends, and how long does a startup on an average spend at your is expected to spend at the incubation center? Is it 6 months, 1 year, 2 year? What's an ideal scenario?
Yeah, actually, though we just started the 1 year before, but the typical, incubation period is 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
So we also said two, but very honestly speaking, we don't going to kick them out after the 2 year or 3rd year, as long as they want our services. But typically 2 to 3 years, they are expected to grow to the next stage. And as I said, apart from these 3 services, one important thing which I also do is giving them a physical services support. For example, we have a 25,000 square feet building space. We have provide them co-working space. We have a center for life science. We have a center for innovation, teaching, learning. So we have various 7 different center of excellence where they can come and access and take the services, and they don't need to invest capital. That is a very important thing. So for all the equipments and for example, we have a 3D printers. So at very nominal cost, they can come and utilize our services, which is very, we are basically investing capital on behalf of them, and they can take our services.
Okay, and when you say investing capital on behalf of, can you just explain how does that work? So are you telling that it happens at a nominal cost, or are you saying is there any exchange between the incubation center and the startup itself?
Yeah, basically we have a couple of packages. Actually, so we have, we are, by the way, we are a not-for-profit Section 8 company.
Right.
And though we are primarily funded and supported by the university, governments also support us. So in a nutshell, we always say we work for the country, not very particularly for the university. So anybody other than Crescent students or alumni or anybody can come, and out of 36 startups, we have 8 alumni startups. So that means the remaining of them come from outside.
Okay.
We also have a student support programs. We have 21 student startups. We support them. But for this, we take very nominal services fee. For example, we charge them. We have 3 different packages. We have one basic package, 3,500 rupees per month. Another is a growth package, which is 7,000 rupees per month. And another is the biotech package, which has some equipment access, which is 12,500 rupees per month. So it goes based on these services. So basically, our philosophy is different strokes for different folks. Means that if somebody wanted different services, we don't want to sell iPhone to everyone. So that means that we like to give them as and when they require, they can take services from them. At the moment, we are not taking equity. In general, incubation centers tend to take equity, but right now we are not taking them any.
So when you say you also try for access to private investment, are there do you connect with, does the Crescent Innovation Incubation Center try to maintain relationship with angel investment networks, seed investment networks? Are there any few that you could name that Crescent Innovation Incubation Center works closely with when it comes to private investment?
Yeah, of course. Actually, we very closely work with many angel investors and venture capitalists. In fact, Chennai Angels, which is based in the Chennai, so we closely work with Chennai Angels. We closely work with the Keiretsu Forum, the Chennai chapter, which is an international angel investment forum. But they have a presence chapter in Chennai. We closely work with them, and we are also closely work with the Indian Venture Capital Association. We are one of the member. So where there are 130 plus members are there. So we closely work with them, and then there is a Mount Judy Venture Capital firm in Bangalore. So we work with them. So we work with all the venture capitalist firms. Actually, one of our USP is we are kind of blended incubator and accelerator. In fact, the incubator takes the very young startups, whereas the accelerator also supports some growth stage startups. So we will also help our growth stage startups, and then we connect them internationally. For example, through our promoter network, we have a lot of connects in Middle East, what they call Middle East and North African MENA market. So we help them to go to the international market through accelerator mode. So there is a accelerator which is run by our promoters called BSA Accelerator. So through their network, we also help our startups to get some Middle East connections to the investors and Middle East investments also, provided they have to reach some stage of the growth stage. Yeah.
So when you say the accelerator, so is it the whole accelerator mode comes in after a certain duration of the startup? At what time, can you just elaborate a little bit on the term accelerator itself? How does it, when and how does it work when within the relationship between the incubation center and the startup?
Basically, the definition of incubator and accelerator depends upon the size of the company. For example, let's say somebody starts with 0. The moment they reach 2 crore annual turnover, they typically graduate from incubator, and then they will get admit into the accelerator. Okay. So basically, the 2 to 3 crore company who will join admit into the incubator, and then they will get raised into say 50 crore or 100 crore turnover. So we categorize them based on the size of the turnover. Okay. So we have 7 startups who are in that category, accelerator category. So these 7 startups, we help them to connect to the Middle East market. We help them to connect to the US market. So we have connected with many incubators. We also the member of the UBA Global, which is the Incubator and Accelerator Association of the across the globe. So we help them to connect with them. In fact, I'm very glad to say the European Commission, which is the European Commission, which is primarily supports Europe-India Innovation Platform Program. They have selected 15 incubators from India and 15 incubators from Europe, and then trying to do this B2B connection for their exchange programs for their startups. Okay. So they have selected in fact, they have selected us. We are one of the 2 incubators selected from Tamil Nadu for this program. So we help them to get into Europe market also. Okay, and thank you for all the information. But I want to, since you're very passionate about this whole subject, so I'm sure you must be having a grand vision. Over the past 1 year, you have achieved so many landmarks when it comes to getting private investment and government grants. What is your future targets? Where do you see Crescent Innovation Incubation Center in over next 5 years or a decade? Well, what is that you want it to be? It's it's every day it's a learning process. In fact, when we started, we don't have much clarity that how we are going to proceed. But exactly after 12 months, we are ranked as number 4 incubator in the country from the Biospectrum. They recently ranked us. We are the first, maybe the young incubator to enter the category, because many of them are in the 10 years, 15 years. So we just, first year, we just entered directly.
Right.
Having said that, our future is to focus more on, the success of the incubator is the success of the startups, in a simple term. So we want to make our startup succeed. So
Right.
today context, our startup success is measured in terms of investment, though it is not
Right.
the primarily the only success factor. So our objective is to help them to get more government grants, help them to get more private investments, and also connect them to international markets.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's
Great.
our ambition.
Great, great, fantastic, sir. I'm sure you will meet your target just as how you did in the last 1 year. Absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you for the very valid information. I really hope we could talk for long, but I'm sure you have your time constraints. So thank you very much for sharing your time here.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a great, exciting, journey being a CEO here, and then I'm very glad to that Avatar is doing a lot of work for, especially for entrepreneurship. I congratulate and appreciate you continue to do this.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.